Holy cow! Minnesota's allowed to have nice things. I'm shocked. So, I remember doing a video before I think when the PWHL was first announced. I was really hoping that it was going to be a success, and I really, really want to see this league not only survive. I want to see it thrive. And the Minnesota Professional Women's Hockey League team, who, hopefully in a few months we'll know what, team name they'll actually be, what logo they'll be. Something pretty awesome happened. After an absolutely heartbreaking loss that we unfortunately were in attendance at, we saw them lose a heartbreaking double overtime game to Boston, having to go back to Boston for the deciding Game 5, and to put up the kind of performance that Minnesota put up. My goodness. They outshot Boston 44-17. And they became the inaugural 2024 PWHL Walter Cup champions. A team from Minnesota actually won a professional championship. That's just something that normally doesn't happen. And apparently, I don't know, I guess it takes the girls for good things to happen for sports in Minnesota. It's the ladies who have to do it. The guys, screw them. The girls, the women's hockey team here in Minnesota become the first ever. History being made. The first ever professional women's hockey league Walter Cup champions are the team from right here in the state of hockey. Just amazing. And it just, we went and we were looking. I was looking on Facebook trying to find, where can we watch this game at? As we're seeing, I'm checking on Facebook to see, and I saw, it's like cool. Minnesota's up 1-0. Then I saw, okay, they're up 2-0, and then it's like, okay, where can we watch this game? Where can we watch this at? And we found out, we went and we looked, and I didn't actually know that we had this, on the TV. We went and found the Women's Sports Network. And that's where we found the game. And we watched the last 5 minutes or so as it was 2-0. And then of course, Boston, they pull the goaltender to try to get back into the game. And Minnesota, they score the third goal, the empty netter, basically to salt the game away. Nicole Hensley, the goaltender, she played unbelievable in game 4. She pitches a 17-save shutout tonight. And I'm one who fully thought, because I've been a fan of Minnesota sports forever. And I've watched the heartache that Minnesota sports teams give the fans. And I thought, and I'm thinking, is this going to be the same thing? Well, the gals on the Minnesota women's hockey team, they came out and they said, "Yeah, nope. We got screwed out of our title in Game 4. We're gonna go out tonight, and we're gonna make a statement." And boy, howdy did they! Just amazing. Kendall Coyne Schofield, the captain. The Walter Cup, which, by the way, beautiful trophy. Oh my God! I wish we could have seen that trophy presentation live at the XL Center. But you know what? Even watching it on TV, and there were a lot of Minnesota fans that made the trip to Boston for that game. I mean, it's interesting when you're seeing the celebration and you're hearing in the crowd, Minnesota. A lot of Minnesota fans were there. I mean, families were there. It was awesome. It was so cool. And this was a team that looked like, they lost their last five the last 5 games of their season. They lost. It was looking like they might not have even made the playoffs. I mean, they played out their season, and they literally had to wait, because it was entirely possible that Ottawa could have caught them. Ottawa could have caught them and knocked them out of the playoff. Minnesota, because it starts out, it's 6 teams, 4 out of the 6 teams make the playoffs. Minnesota, number 4 seed. Number 4 seed. Just amazing. I mean, what an insane run. They fell behind in the first series, and because for the playoffs, you get to choose, the team that finishes first in the standings got to choose their opponent. Well, Toronto was first overall in the league at the end of the regular season. They chose to face Minnesota. I mean, why wouldn't you play? Why wouldn't you play the least? The team that's ranked, 4th. Why wouldn't you do that? Well, they jumped up 2-0 on Minnesota, and it wasn't looking good. I remember thinking, I was like, well, what do you do? Well, then their big scorer, their best player, Natalie Spooner, gets hurt. She blows her knee, and Minnesota, and Minnesota took advantage. Minnesota came back. They rallied back. They won 3 in a row to make the final. They then lose game 1 of the final against Boston. They then go and they win 2 in a row. Then we go to the game that thinking, God, how awesome would it be to be at a game and see a championship presented? That'd be awesome. Well, that didn't end up happening, unfortunately. But they come into game 5, and it's literally like, when we saw the stat line and we saw what the shots were, and they even said in the post game interviews, I think it was the playoff MVP. By the way, Taylor Heisey, who was the number 1 draft pick. Minnesota last year in the draft, in the little lottery they got the number 1 draft pick. They drafted Taylor Heisey. She ends up winning playoff MVP. And she said in one of the post-game, in one of the interviews, she said, because they asked her, how did you respond? What did you think about after, having that heartbreaking loss in game 4, and coming into this game, how did you prepare? And then they said, and she said, we were motivated. We came in motivated, and we wanted to literally play our absolute best game that we could. They picked the right game to do it. They win 3-0. That Walter Cup, by the way, beautiful trophy, really beautiful. And it's literally they celebrated it like the men do when they win the Stanley Cup. They went, held it up over their heads, they skated around with it, they handed it off, skated around with it, kissed it, did the team picture. So cool. And it was Minnesota that did it. It was a Minnesota team. Holy cow. That just never happens to Minnesota teams. And I mean, that's history. You know, the first ever season of the PWHL comes to an end, and its very first champion is the team from right here in the state of hockey. Now, hopefully, too, in the next few months, because Jenna Horford. I'm blanking on her name right now. They asked her, what they'll be looking forward to here, potentially going into, the next draft and potentially next season and, in between, during the off season. And she went and said, we look forward to team names. We look forward to logos. We look forward to jerseys with the logos. I look forward to seeing what they can come up with for all the teams. And yeah, I just think is how cool, how very, very cool. A professional sports team from Minnesota, especially in hockey, they become the inaugural league champions. Absolutely amazing. And yeah, it's just so very, very cool. And yeah, I will definitely be, and I saw at least I saw the hats. I saw the hat, the hats were, not real elaborate, designs for the hats, but, it's going to have the PWHL logo on it. It's going to have the name Minnesota underneath it. So I'm going to get a hat. I might even try and get a shirt. I'll have to look on their shop website to see what a lot of those look like. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try to get some swag. As there I am trying to sound cool. I think I'm gonna get some championship merchandise though for the Minnesota PWHL Minnesota team. So very, very cool. Women's hockey is amazing to watch. I think this league has had a great first season, and I look forward to seeing just how much bigger this league can get. I hope it can get, I hope it can grow exponentially. We start out with 6 teams. I could see, if the league continues to grow, I could see them go to 8 teams, and maybe 10. We'll see. To me, the sky's the limit for this league. It is a lot of fun to watch. The games are fun to watch, and as the wife said earlier, well, you know what this means now. I think ticket prices are going to go up for next year because the ticket prices were really relatively cheap. The ticket prices were really relatively cheap. And yeah, they become the first ever champion. Yeah, I'm thinking ticket prices might go up next year. Hopefully not a ton, but I could see ticket prices go up next year, at least a little bit. Because they will be, when next year starts, they will be the reigning, defending Walter Cup champions. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think? Do you think the PWHL is going to be a league that thrives? I really hope it is, because women's hockey is a blast to watch. It is really a lot of fun to watch, and I want to see nothing but the best for this league, for these ladies who play in the league, and I look forward to seeing what team names they come up with for these 6 teams next year. And, seeing what kind of jersey designs they come up with. with the logos on them. And yeah, I think it'll be fun. So let me know what you guys think. And again, congratulations to the first ever PWHL Walter Cup champions for the year 2024, the team from the state of hockey. I will see you guys later.